Hey, welcome back to Soul Whispers Tarot. I'm Karen. Happy New Year. I'm back again with another reading. Sorry it's been so long. It's been quite hectic. Schools are closed at the moment, so I'm trying to fit in doing these readings amongst doing like school lessons over Google with the school. So thank you for your patience. So today's reading is an in-depth look at the current energies within your connection. So that can be a twin flame connection or a soulmate connection. We're going to look very, very in-depth at what's going on right now. And if you would like a regular in-depth look into your life and what's coming up in your future, please subscribe to my channel, tap the bell icon and turn on the notification bell. So in today's reading, we have 3 sets of cards. Set of cards number 1 is the Rainbow Prism. Set of cards number 2 is the Amber. And set of cards number 3 is the Cerise Pink Crystal. So take some time to tune into the energies of the cards. Relax, get comfortable and cozy. Take a few deep breaths if you need to. You can pause the video right now as well. And I'll leave a few quiet moments here too for you to really tune in and decide through your intuition which set of cards is resonating with you the most. Okay, so let's get into the reading. Welcome to set of cards number 1. You've chosen the Rainbow Prism. So this is going to be an extremely in-depth look into the current energies within your connection. So that can be a twin flame connection or a soulmate connection. And we're going to look into the tarot. We've got tons and tons of messages cards today, as well as pulling messages out of the bag and looking into the divination dice and the charms. So this person is feeling really, really happy at some sort of reunion between you both, or this is what they're really wanting. This could be that they feel overall just really ecstatic, really emotional, so overjoyed because they have met you in general, or this could be that recently you've come into some kind of reconciliations. This is the card of someone from your past returning to your life. For some of you, this is what's going to happen in the near future. So we have the 6 of Cups, the 4 of Cups, the 5 of Wands, the 2 of Wands, and the 5 of Cups in reverse. So that's interesting. 4, 5, and 6 of Cups here. So this person is feeling very emotional at this time. So there may have been a separation between you both with this 5 of Cups here, but in reverse it's saying that you're coming back together because this person has gone through a big loss in your relationship, and this can represent both of you. Something in the past wasn't working out, so there was some kind of ending, a lot of grief, a lot of heartbreak, but this is, to me, really is the card which says that whatever fell away was really just the unhealthy dynamics between you, because what this was making way for was the 2 of Cups, which is the happy, balanced relationship. So this is a feeling of loss. This can be that you were both afraid of losing each other. You were both afraid of abandonment and rejection. And so maybe because of these fears are so strong within you both that you're both focusing on that, you know, trying to avoid abandonment and rejection at all costs. This person may have been suffering with thoughts of it's all going to come to an end, it's not going to work out, and they couldn't really take up the 2 of Cups, the happy, harmonious relationship, because of all the fears. And again, it could be that you both felt that way. without realizing it. But the Five of Cups is in reverse now, so that is much more positive. It's saying that there's an ending to this sort of pessimistic thinking, or ending to the adversity, the difficulties, the fears. Maybe you had to go through some kind of loss in order to face those fears head on, and now you've both healed, you've both cleared out a lot of those wounds, and that pain and the fears. And so now there is a sense of you coming back together with this Six of Cups here. This is the healing of the inner children as well within you both. So yeah, if there was a separation, it was because you had to face the fears and wounds head on, and now many of you have, and so you're very close to coming back together into a reunion or getting back in touch with each other. Some of you, this is a stage that you are at this time. There's an innocence here as well with that Six of Cups. This card is about soulmates as well. You could be on the twin flame path together, twin flame connection. So yeah, the Four of Cups. There may have been this feeling of a missed opportunity in the past. I feel like you're coming out of that. In the traditional tarot, it shows the person is focused on the Three Cups, and I feel like it was that Three Cups here as well. Fears of it ending, fears of being hurt, being heartbroken, fears of loss. And yeah, in the traditional tarot, it shows the person is focused on that loss, and that was creating like a third-party situation. And by that I mean it was creating a fear that was standing in the way of this reunion. And so this cup was coming in, it was being offered from the divine. This can also be like the oneness of your union, because if you are twin flames, when you're in the 3D, there's this illusion of separation, and that fear of abandonment and rejection is often mirrored between you both, and it creates a lot of blocks because of the doubts and fears of heartbreak. And so this is like the truth. The truth was that you are always in union. You know, this isn't about becoming perfect and completely healing yourself so that you're in union. It is the realization that you're already one in your true soul states. So that's like the 5D and beyond, because you're multi-dimensional. And so with this card, this is the Gilded Tarot, by the way, there was a feeling of a missed opportunity in the past, but I don't feel like it was a missed opportunity. I feel like everything within your connection has happened for a reason, to learn a lot of things, to become more aware of your true soul selves, because Spirit is saying in the past a lot of those fears were in the mind. You know, the mind creates fears. It thinks a lot about the past. It thinks and worries about the future. But you had to live in the present moment when that separation occurred. And it has led to more consciousness, more awakening within you both, and more of a realization that you are already this oneness. You're already that union, that infinite bond. Because despite everything that has happened between you both, there's still this love there, unconditional love, unbreakable love. And so right now, or very soon, I feel as though this reconciliation is happening. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to end up together in like a physical relationship right now kind of thing, but there's some kind of reunion, some kind of reconnection, because now this person has turned away from the Three of Cups, which was those fears, which was creating a block, creating a third-party situation, third-party energy of that fear, and they're turning to face this cup. This is about receiving love, and it's like you've both worked on your self-love so much, or you just realize your worth much more than you did in the past. You may have needed to go through a separation to realize that you can be okay on your own, and that you had to release codependency, unhealthy dynamics, things like that. And now this person, again, it could represent both of you, because if you are twin flames, then you are reflections of each other. You're both really ready to receive this love, and you're really taking notice of the connection. There may have been an element of you both, or one of you perhaps, taking the connection for granted, but now definitely not taking it for granted. Focusing. This is like in the 5D as well, I feel. There's this oneness, there's this union that you both realize you have in the 5D. There may be third-party situations going on in the physical, like one or both of you may be in other relationships, but you're both very much focused on this 5D union, this true union of who you are as a unified soul. And yeah, there may be some feelings of fear still going on with this 5 of Wands. This is like a power struggle. I feel like in the past, maybe you both were longing for each other so much, but at the same time, there was fears of being together, or you couldn't be together because you are reflections of each other. You are one. And so if you weren't able to love yourself and accept yourself and receive who you truly are, then you couldn't receive the other. It wasn't the right time, and so you couldn't be in that union fully, because you're in your mind, in your fears, you know, whatever that union represents within your connection. And so there's a lot of like inner conflict and power struggles. That fear may have created a push and pull, runner chaser, anything like that. It could be the fears going on within the mind. I feel there's still this aspect a little bit, but a lot less than in the past, like fears coming up to deal with the remembrance of all the pain and suffering you felt when you had too much attachment to this person, to this connection. Too much attachment creates a lot of pain. And so there's the memory of that. And there may be a little bit of fear within you both of kind of falling back into old ways and becoming obsessive and feeling so much longing and focusing on what you don't have, and feeling, you know, falling into that illusion of separation again. Having, you know, falling into that idea or that story that you can only be happy if you're in a physical union. And yeah, focusing more on the physical. And so I feel like there is a heart opening. You're both surrendering more. You're both allowing this union to unfold with a lot less fear than in the past. But there is still a tiny little bit. You've learned so much from the past. And I feel like you won't fall back into that old dynamic, in terms of you won't fall back into that fear-based as much. At times you may do, but then it's like you'll snap out of it much more quickly. You'll realize, and you will find much more balance. So interestingly, we have the 2 of Wands here. So there may be a little bit of frustration as well, because there's this longing for that union, for that oneness. But it's almost like with this crossroads here, it's like in truth you are one. You are this path, the one path, but they split. Kind of like twin flames. basically. I don't believe that twin flames are split in two. I feel that they're always one, but they're just in two different bodies in the 3D, because they decided to incarnate in that way, for whatever reasons that they decided to do that. And so it's like in the physical, you're on these two different paths, but in truth, you are always one. But I feel like there's a lot of thinking about each other, maybe from afar right now. Yeah, thinking of that union that you already have, the 5D element. And it could be that someone needs to make a decision. They're at a crossroads. And yeah, it's coming out of that pain into the Two of Cups, the more harmonious connection between you both. But there may still be an element of that pain going on at this time. So how does this person truly feel about you? We're going to look into some message cards now. All of my message cards are my own creation in this video. I'm going to be looking at these ones here and 3 other sets of messages cards, as well as pull the messages out of the bag. Then we're looking into the divination dice and the charms. So stay tuned, because so much information is coming through today. I have had quite a gap between now and the last reading, and I often feel as though I channel a lot better when I've had more of a break. But having said that, I still want to go back to doing more readings. It is going to be a little bit more difficult now that schools are closed. But anyway, how does this person truly feel about you at this time? Okay, so we have Judgment. And this is, I'm hearing the calling. So this is a rebirth. This is an awakening. This is, you both have the time and distance to be able to see things from a higher perspective and see the light, see beyond the veil of illusion that was in the past, creating all those fears and that illusion of separation, like I said. So this person is awakening very deeply, and I feel as though you have and are as well, and you're hearing that calling. I do feel as though you are just connecting so much more on the 5D in your true consciousness, and that may seem like it's not good enough, because you may be wanting like the 3D, but this connection is about reflecting your true self, so you become aware. You remember who you truly are. And I really feel as though that is the main purpose of the twin flame connection. So that is amazing. I want you, so I'm coming to get you. This is the King of Wands. Okay, so there is this desire for that reunion on the physical as well. Maybe decisions need to be made. This often shows the person on the balcony looking out over the balcony. They kind of feel stuck in their current circumstances, but they're looking over that balcony. They're wanting forward movement. It could literally be about lockdowns as well, like you're kind of locked down in the house, and wanting like to travel, or wanting life to get back to normal, wanting to bridge the gap between you. But yeah, they want you, so they're coming to get you. This could be, again, communication is happening again. It doesn't necessarily mean it's that end goal that the ego kind of has of being together in a physical, like romantic relationship. This I want you, so I'm coming to get you could literally be that you're coming back into communication. You want to be close in that way. I'm totally heartbroken. 3 of Swords. So yeah, there is this element still of kind of mourning, maybe mourning that idea of a physical union happening right now. It may happen in the future, but we can't wait around and hold on to that, because it creates that attachment, that pain. And so I feel there's a healing of that, there's a releasing of that, there's a going with the flow that's happening overall. Just a peace with what is in the present moment. But right now, this person may be feeling heartbroken. This may be what was going on in the past, a lot of heartbreak. Those biggest fears happened. The feeling or the appearance of being abandoned and rejected in the 3D, but it brought you to more of that oneness, more of the realization of your true oneness with this person. There was a quote. What was it? It was a Rumi quote, I think. If anyone knows it, please say in the comments. It was something like, when you believe that you're losing something, really you're gaining so much more. It's totally not that. It's like much more poetic than that. But that's the gist of it. Okay, these messages want to come out. Yeah, so there may be, with that 5 of Wands, that inner conflict. There may be still a push-pull, because, you know, this connection is a process. It isn't like, oh, that happened in the past, so suddenly we're going to be fully overcome. We've fully overcome that fear. There's still going to be an element of that, but I feel like it's a lot less than in the past. The fear has been overcome in a major way, but we do have, I'm too scared to face up to it, the 7 of Swords. The 7 of Swords is about kind of running away. So there may still be an element of not fully diving in 100%. And I would say, you know, this isn't about people's free will here. This is to do with the healing process. This is to do with that soul contract. You have intense things to heal and go through along this path. You're becoming more and more of that consciousness, coming out of the illusions, but there will still be an element of this along the way. And that's interesting that that is going over the decision card, or, you know, that could be like duality with the 2 of Wands. It could be your true self, the ego, or true self and a mask, true self, how you truly feel, and having walls up, however that resonates. I want to be with you forever, the 10 of Cups. So yeah, there is definitely this desire, this longing, this magnetic pull, this just intense feeling, this intense knowing that you are that oneness, and they just want to be by your side. They want that 10 of Cups. That is having it all. That is having the relationship, feeling completely, well, maybe not completely, but feeling emotionally fulfilled beyond your wildest dreams, within that union, within that bond. So they're definitely wanting that reunion. So there was a tower. It's all falling apart. There was a tower moment that is clarifying what I was picking up earlier. Why isn't that focusing? There we go. Yeah, it may have appeared that it was your connection falling apart, but really it was the ego. Really it was the walls, the barriers, the masks, the unhealthy dynamics, the codependencies, the ways that you were holding on to each other in unhealthy ways. That's what was falling apart. And that's what that 5 of Cups represents. It appears like everything is lost, but it's not. It's making way for more harmony in the long run within your connection. Yeah. We have I want you so badly. the Knight of Wands, so you're feeling very passionate towards each other. This person, they want to race in. They may be having sexual fantasies about you. They want that physical union, but they're feeling that ecstatic. They're feeling that heaven on earth as well because of that 5D bond that you share. But this could be that they are coming in, again, Knights of communication. So they may be coming forward, you may be coming back into contact with each other. Yeah, harmony is coming back. This is the start. No, this is temperance. Harmony is coming back. So yeah, so much healing has happened. In the temperance, the angel is holding 2 cups, so that's also like the 2 of Cups card. Harmony, balance, communication, reconciliation in some kind of form. I lay awake at night worrying about us, the 9 of Swords. So this could be they are worrying about how to navigate forward in this connection because they are wanting that reunion on all levels. They may be struggling with a little bit of fear. I also see this as they're just not necessarily awake at night worrying all the time. I do feel like there are some fears that are cropping up, but I feel this is just feeling like really happy about you coming back together, you coming closer to each other, you resuming like communication or something, and just feeling that 5D energy. It's like you really connect with each other, but especially at night time, because obviously it's a time where you're not doing anything else other than laying there. You know, you're not doing like any daily tasks or anything, so it's like the perfect opportunity where your souls are connecting with each other, connecting telepathically. Interesting. I'm not sure what to choose. The 7 of Cups. This person may be a little bit confused, or that, you know, if you're in a relationship, or they may be wondering if you're confused and not sure what to choose, whether to choose them or this other path, this other person. Or obviously it could be them. They could be in a relationship with that choice to make, but you know, it may not be the time for like physical union for some of you at this time. I'm much more secure in myself, so yeah, I feel this definitely applies to both of you. All those wounds which have been healed to a great extent, and facing those fears a lot more than in the past. Okay, so let's look at the Our Eternal Love cards. Very interested to see what's going to come out. Yeah, we have this one, and I know there's someone in the comments who says they always pick the card, the set of cards with this message in, so I wonder if they have picked this set again. You and I are like a ball of wool. You're one end of the string and I the other, but we're a tangled mess. So this is my twin flame analogy. It's like you're one piece of string. The divine masculine energy is one end of the string and the divine feminine is the other. And in the middle there's this karma, and that's represented by the piece of string being like in a tangled ball of wool. So yeah, there's still more to heal. There always is, though, you know. We may have this idea in our mind that there's this end goal where everything is healed and complete, and we're like totally enlightened, and the truth is we are already like whole and complete within. It's just a matter of connecting more and more with the true consciousness, and some would say that is like the 5D and beyond, and that is definitely what is happening in a major way right now. So yeah, there still is like things to go through, but I don't feel like it's anything you should stress yourself out about and, You know, the mind can really overcomplicate things, and you know, everything is a balance. It's not about spiritually bypassing things, but at the same time, be aware if your mind is trying to overcomplicate matters. Yeah, you're the right person, but at the wrong time. So yeah, there's divine timing here. You may have met quite a long time ago, some of you, but there's still things to go through. That tangled mess is like the illusions. So coming into clarity, coming into consciousness within yourselves. What else is going to come out? We have, yeah, okay. This makes a lot of sense. Past life karma is causing a deep rejection fear I'm not even consciously aware of. So yeah, someone is definitely, and if you're twin flames, it's probably both of you, having some fears still within the subconscious. That's what that tangled ball of wool is, the illusion, the subconscious. You've shared a lot of past lives together. You've experienced a lot of rejection, a lot of abandonment on that 3D level. But if you're twin flames, it was never like a true rejection. It was just playing out different scenarios in order to trigger up those wounds so you could continue to work through them in each lifetime. But this rejection fear has kind of bled through into this lifetime, and you're both not even fully consciously aware of it. But the more you connect with your true self, the more things will come to light and be healed and released. Yeah, I've always loved you. It's just misaligned. So that misalignment is like in the 3D. But again, I wouldn't like beat yourself up about it. There's a soul contract. You definitely came here to learn a lot of things and come back into your conscious awareness. So that's not going to be an easy, straightforward process. It's meant to be this way, basically. This journey is meant to be this way. Yeah, again, we have this lifetime is only one mission in many. We are a team and we'll reconnect on our homeland. I feel like you're already connecting on your homeland. So that's basically a higher dimension. You're always connected. You're always that oneness. And again, this is saying you've had many lifetimes and you've had many missions. You've had many life lessons that your souls agreed to go through in each lifetime. And you know, that's not, those life lessons aren't gonna happen if you suddenly just get together in every lifetime really easily and it's all about the 3D. Because if that happened, you'd just be focused on the 3D and you wouldn't wake up as much, or you wouldn't wake up at all, if everything happened so easily. And that is why sometimes and often relationships happen much more easily with soulmates, because they're like your companion soulmate. It's like your soul agreed to have that support in the 3D, perhaps with someone else. Okay, so let's look at the I love you to the moon and back cards. This is going to be a super long message, but I'm really enthusiastic because it's been about a week since I last posted. So I'm really interested to see what is going to come out in these cards, if any. Okay, and annoyingly that's fallen on the floor. And there's so much stuff. Bear with me. Right. Okay, just readjust my seat. Okay. Be honest with yourself. Are you just in love with the fantasy? Okay, so there may be a fear here. What I'm picking up on is there's a fear, like maybe in the past you both kind of got caught up in thinking and thinking and thinking and fantasizing about this connection. Maybe you became a little bit ungrounded and forgot to live your life in the 3D at the same time. So I'm actually seeing this card today as fears of getting swept up in a fantasy. There was that 7 of Cups that came up in the messages cards. 7 of Cups is about things being a little bit too ungrounded, but you know, again, it's all about balance. The 7 of Cups can be about the unmanifested, the unmanifest, and that can be your 5D, and you do need to connect with the 5D. That is your true self. That is the gateway to your true self. But at the same time, there does need to be a balance of living your life in the present moment as well. And yeah, like I said, maybe a little bit of fear or a little bit of cautiousness about falling back into that pattern of not living in the present moment. And I'm not trying to imply that when you connect to the 5D, you're not in the present moment, because that is your true self. But you know, you have a 3D human life as well that you need to live in. I thought I could run away from my healing work. Instead, I ran into so much drama that I'm forced to heal myself. So this is really interesting. This could be that you both subconsciously had walls up. You're both within your own individual towers. You're both behind certain masks, in certain comfort zones. And that was you both kind of in running away or just not allowing the full development of this connection in some kind of way. So you're running away from each other. And that was running away from the healing work you needed to heal by actually going through the wounds, going through your biggest fears of abandonment and rejection that you were trying to run away from for so long. So when you were running away, or when you were staying in the comfort zone, a tower moment happened basically. You ran into so much drama that it forced you to heal. You were basically forced to heal because there was some kind of unhealthy dynamic where you're both stagnating, and maybe you had each other in some kind of way in your 3D lives, but it wasn't fully healthy. There was a lot of things that you were both trying to avoid. I became discouraged by all the obstacles. Okay, so someone walked away from this connection, or maybe both of you did at some point, because it all kind of fell apart. It felt like the final straw kind of thing in that moment. That was like that 5 of Cups card, thinking everything's impossible, everything's fallen apart. And you're like, that was it. But you know, that is what made way for the falling away of all the unhealthy attachments, all the unhealthy expectations. As time went on, maybe you were living your life more than what you had been when you're holding on too tightly to this connection. And when you were moving on, living your life and realizing that you can actually be happy and fulfilled even without this person, like in the physical, that is when you started to realize that the love was still there. That's when you started to realize that the oneness, the unconditional love was there. The union was really there, because you could see it much more clearly now that all this mind stuff, this expectations, fears, wounds, you know, all the focusing on 3D, looking outside of self, all that sort of stuff fell away. And so you can see the connection much more clearly. You chased me so much, I guess a part of me believed somehow you would break down my defenses and make it happen in the end. So someone was a runner, someone was the chaser, but basically that is both you running away. One person is running away from being rejected by running towards the other person, and the other person is running away from being rejected by running away because they feel like if they get close then you'll realize they're not good enough and will be rejected. So whoever was running away in terms of not opening up, most likely, in most cases. They were kind of sitting back, letting you do a lot of the work in the 3D. And maybe they had this idea that you would kind of drag them out of their shell at some point and make it happen. So it's kind of like they were waiting for you to make it happen, but you may have been waiting for them to make it happen. But the thing is, you're twin flames, so you're both waiting because you're the same. You're too good for me. This was a major wound that I feel like you both were suffering with, an illusion that was consuming your thoughts and causing you to come towards each other from a place of fear, or maybe not come towards each other because of that fear. So, messages from the Divine Masculine cards. This is a super long message. Oops. That top one wants to come out as well. I follow my gut. So this is the intuition. It's awoken a lot within this person, within you. Maybe there was a lack of trust of this connection in some kind of way in the past, but now seeing things much more clearly. What's my purpose? So right now there is this focus on what is the purpose of this connection. It could be, what's my life purpose? But you know, these difficulties really just get us to start asking the right questions, so we discover more of our true self. I'm struggling with money. There may be issues right now, could be to do with lockdowns. Struggling with money. What's my purpose? Someone may be trying to figure out how can they create like this financial security when lockdowns are going on. This karmic situation is busting my ass. So they may have some karmic things to do with money. But yeah, again, it's just saying to me that there's karma that is being healed and processed at this time. So one more of these messages. Okay, two more came out. I had a feeling it wouldn't just be one card. Yeah, I'm reprioritizing. And help me. Okay, so the help me card, I feel like you may be coming back into contact with each other, maybe because of lockdowns or what's going on in the world. Not necessarily, but it's like the right time. You want that support from each other. I'm reprioritizing, working out what's important. There may be upheaval to do with those lockdowns. That's related in some way to your connection. Okay, so let's pull some messages out of the bag. Scared of losing you. Yeah, I feel like this has been the biggest fear within both of you. Fear of loss. And then you may have had to literally go through this illusion that you had lost each other. But whatever is lost made way for you to truly be found. Finding yourself, your true self within, and that is finding each other, because you are the reflection of self. Yeah, astral connection. You're connecting extremely deeply in the astral right now. There is this sense that over the past few months, maybe you're very distracted because of what was going on in the world and all the upheaval. But now there is this feeling, I swear it's because it's now 2021, a shift like in the energy, a shift in the planetary alignments. 2021, it's like the new time for this reconnection. So connecting in the 5D, connecting in the 3D as well. stuck in illusion. That was definitely what was going on in the past. May still be some illusions that are being worked through. Fear of rejection. Yeah. And fear of intimacy. So yeah, that fear of intimacy was because of the fear of rejection. Fear of revealing one's true self to the other because of lack of self-love. But the irony is, you are the one and the same if you're twin flames. So when you love yourself, the other can come forward and love you because they're loving their self, and vice versa. Okay, so let's look at the divination dice next, and then we will look at the charms. The crown. So this is the crown chakra. Again, this is major awakening, coming back into true awareness. And this is that 5D and beyond connection. Sorry about it not focusing. Treasure chest. Okay, so it's like you are each other's treasure. You're so special to each other. Abundance is coming in as well if anyone's struggling with money. Okay, so this is interesting. Cyclops. I'm seeing this is to do with seeing clearly. It's like the third eye, even though they've only got one eye. To me, I'm seeing this as like the third eye, seeing beyond the troll, seeing beyond the illusions, the negative stories, the negative self-talk of this troll, and the opening of the third eye. The ladder. This is ascension. So yeah, connecting more and more on a higher dimension. Yeah, and communication. You writing to each other in some kind of way. So that's really amazing. So let's finish off by looking at the charms. Okay. So we have the purse here again. So again, something to do with money here. Someone may be stressed about money. We have slightly bitter. That's interesting. So there may be a slight bit of bitterness perhaps within the connection, but I feel like that's healing. So here's the cross with the rose on it. And this always reminds me of the Rumi card, which is called the Celestial Rose of Ma. And that is all about the trials and tribulations you have to go through in order to open your heart to give and be able to receive love. You've got to go through those thorns in order to get to the rose. You've got to go through those difficulties in order to get to that union. I feel like there's an infinite bond here. You're committing more to each other. And the red is like a lot of passion and reconnection. And we have the ship's helm, which is the Wheel of Fortune. Positive movement forward, coming out of that karma that kept you stuck, coming into that brighter future. So If you really want to know in depth how this person truly feels about you at this time, please check out my Dear Beloved message readings. They're $11.11. That's US dollars. They're not personal readings, but basically I created a really powerful oracle deck where I channeled messages from the Divine Masculine Collective. And when you book a reading, I basically email you the very in-depth description of the card. I'm in the process of writing some more card descriptions so that I can have more cards to offer you in those readings as well. So please check those out. I have some amazing reviews on those readings on my website. The detail is below this video in the description box. So please subscribe to my channel as well if you haven't already. Tap the bell icon and turn on all notifications, and that way you'll be notified every time I release a new reading. Thank you so much for joining me here. And now I'll move on to the next set of cards. Welcome to set of cards number 2. You've chosen the beautiful Amber. So this is going to be an extremely in-depth look into the current energies and what's going on in your connection right now. So this can be a twin flame connection or a soulmate connection, a sacred soul connection basically. And we're going to look into the tarot. We've got tons and tons of messages cards today, as well as the divination dice and the charms. So stay tuned because a lot of information is going to come through. Okay, so we have the Nine of Cups, the Ace of Swords, the Tower in reverse, the Sun, and Temperance. So Nine of Cups. This is like your wishes, your dreams coming true. I feel as though you and this person are feeling really emotionally happy, fulfilled, joyous, because you feel this reconnection is occurring between you both. And there's a sense of happiness that you may be coming back into each other's lives in certain ways, because we have the Ace of Swords here. This is victory, this is clarity, this is communication, success, being more in your true selves, communicating a lot more, cutting the ties to anything that hasn't served. There was a Tower moment between you both, but now you're coming out of that. Now you're healing that with it in the reversed position. This is why clarity is coming into your connection, because the Tower often represents the ego identity, the walls, the masks that we have, that we build up around ourselves to protect ourselves. This is almost like fighting for that freedom to be your true selves, freedom from the fears, the pain, the wounds, the struggles, so that you can have that reconciliation. Because this is positive. Right next to it we have the Sun. So obviously there's a storm in this card, and the lightning strikes the Tower and breaks it down. So there was a lot of fears, a lot of illusions, unhealthy dynamics between you that you'd built your connection upon, but it was causing like this resistance within the connection. You couldn't come close together because I feel like you were both within your individual towers, maybe communicating from afar, maybe hoping, dreaming, wishing, but it wasn't fully manifesting in the past because there were these walls up, whether you consciously realized it or not. So there's a Tower moment. What was creating the fears and the walls around you both was this fear. This is like an internal fear of the connection breaking down, of it not working out, of you feeling rejected, abandoned, cheated on, fears of third-party situations, all things like that. Internal fears which were causing resistance, causing a fear of totally surrendering, coming closer from that place of love and trust and faith. And so this dynamic, the difficulties, the struggles which came from that may have been going on for a long time. So the universe had to step in The universe had to break down those walls by forcing you to go through your biggest fears, force you to face those wounds and heal them, because you were both trying to avoid that heartbreak so much that you were avoiding each other, avoiding stepping out of the comfort zone. So after the storm, after the difficulties, there's now the sun. This is one of the most positive cards in the whole deck. This is joy. This is healing. Healing of the inner children. This is a divine masculine energy as well. There may have been a major transformation within the divine masculine, but I feel many of you are twin flames, so the transformation will have been equal on both sides. I definitely believe it is an illusion when we believe it's just the masculine that needs to heal a lot of things. And I feel that's partly because it's mostly divine feminines that are more of the, what's the word? They're more likely, divine feminines are more likely to be the ones that are writers or here on YouTube talking about twin flames, expressing their feelings, their experiences to do with this. So because it's mostly divine feminines who are the voice of twin flames in many ways into the public, it can like skew the perception. I find it very interesting that a lot of the divine feminines in the past, at least, were referring to the masculine's partner as a karmic, and yet when those divine feminines sometimes get into their own relationships with someone else, then they call that person a soulmate. But you know, I just want to shed light on that the divine masculine may have a karmic, so might the divine feminine, but the divine masculine may be with a soulmate and the divine feminine may be with a soulmate. You know, whoever is teaching these lessons, whoever is along this path with us in the 3D, they can be supportive, and yes, they can be toxic. But I just find that interesting that we need to be mindful of seeing things from a more balanced perspective. So there's temperance here. Your connection is coming back into much more harmony, much more peace, much more balance. And there is this feeling of just joy and excitement. Like you feel as though you're on cloud 9, or very soon you're going to feel like that, because there's clarity. There may be communication coming back together, healing of the inner child, seeing things more clearly. It is leading to that reunion here. Reunion doesn't necessarily have to mean like a final goal of being together in a 3D physical relationship. That is like the workings of the mind and the ego, feeling or having these stories where we believe we need things in the physical to be a set way in order for us to be happy. The more we hold on to that illusion, the more we're going to have that attachment, the more the universe is going to have to step in and break that down. And cause a lot of pain, but ultimately it's so we realize that we are that oneness. And noticing all the planets here, I feel 2021 there's major planetary shifts for twin flames, and that's why many are coming back into communication now. It's like they're cycling back round towards each other. Okay, so let's look at some message cards. All of the message cards in today's reading are my own creation, and we're going to look at 4 different sets of message cards before pulling messages out of the bag, and then looking at the divination dice and the charms. So much stuff, so much information is going to come through. Okay, so we have the 5 of Wands. Interestingly, this came out in set of cards number 1. So it may be worth watching that set of cards as well, because I feel there's a very similar energy in set of cards number 2 as there are in set of cards number 1. I will stay in control of this situation. So there may be some power struggles going on. It's like the ego basically trying to not allow you to be heartbroken in any way, shape or form, and so the ego creates that tower, that wall around yourself. This may be mirroring within your connection. It could be, in some cases, more of the divine masculine, you know, despite everything I just said, because there is the divine masculine energy. But in the traditional tarot, it shows the masculine and the feminine. So yeah, there may be some power struggles. This could be the ego within both of you at times has subconsciously wanted to stay in control, wanted to stay safe. So a fear of being vulnerable. Okay, so there's a 2 of Swords here. I'm not sure what decision to make. And we have, I want to share my life with you, the 10 of Pentacles. So interesting. Someone needs to make a decision here. The Tower moment may have happened because someone was refusing to make a decision, or both of you were subconsciously refusing to come out of the comfort zone. You were waiting for them to take action. They were waiting for you to take action. Or, you know, you were waiting for them to heal. They were waiting for you to heal. Whatever it may be, it may encompass all of those things. But if I feel like many of you watching this are twin flames, and so you are one and the same soul, and so whatever you were waiting for the other person to do is what you needed to do within yourself, and vice versa. So I feel like that is why there was this stagnation, things going around in circles between you both, and that is why the universe had to step in, because the 2 of Swords is like burying your head in the sand, not moving forward, not making that decision. But interestingly, this is over the Ace of Swords, so you are both coming into more clarity now. One of those swords, the 2, one of those with this Ace of Swords is being chosen, and what is being chosen is this: I want to share my life with you. The 10 of Pentacles, this person wants a tangible relationship, a 3D relationship. They want everything to develop into that. They want to truly be there for you. They want to be dependable. The 10 of Pentacles is also about loyalty as well. Healing is here. So we have the Star. So yeah, whatever difficulties you've been going through in the past in this relationship, this is healing. And I do feel it's because of planetary shifts now that we're in 2021. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out. I don't know. My mind's gone blank. What number the Sun is? I normally know, like these Roman numerals, but for some reason my mind has just gone blank. 10, 10 and 1. 21, but it's not 21, because 21 is the world. It's 19, isn't it? I think. Healing is here. I love how you nurture me. This is the Queen of Pentacles. So interestingly, this is over the Temperance card, which shows the divine feminine as well. So, but this is like a balance. So it's like you're now both nurturing each other, or you're both coming into this place of equal balance when it comes to give and take. So let's look at our eternal love cards next. I've always struggled to feel good enough for you. So there's been self-esteem issues. This person may be running away from you because they feel like it's too overwhelming to be open and vulnerable, because then you can see the real them, and they're not loving the real them. Or really, who they believe is the real them isn't really the real them. I feel like this person is believing in the ego identity. So the ego creates a story. I am my achievements, I am my failures, I am my career, I am my job, I am what other people have said I am these stories of what I believe I am. And it's all subconscious, right? But that isn't who we truly are. Who we truly are is our soul self. It's the what am I saying? Infinite part of ourselves, the infinite aspect, our infinite soul, eternal, not internal, our eternal soul that incarnates throughout all lifetimes, our true consciousness. So I feel like you've both been on this path of reconnecting with your true selves. And if you just got together just like that wouldn't have happened. We grow through adversity. We grow through struggles. We awaken through that adversity. Okay, so these, wow, set of cards number 1 and 2 are very similar. These 3 cards have come out again, and they were in set of cards number 1 as well. Past life karma is causing a deep rejection fear within me that I'm not even consciously aware of. So you've shared many past lives together. You've gone through many different scenarios that you've played out together where you both felt rejected, you both felt abandoned. Again, it's in the 3D. This cycle keeps going on and on in repeat until we realize the true union is within. The true union is on that place beyond the 3D. But when we focus too much on the 3D, again, it's like focusing on the false self. It's focusing on the temporary illusion that each incarnation is. Basically, until we realize the full lesson of the oneness and about loving self, and then we have that true union with the other, because they are us. Until we realize that, we keep going in these cycles. But yeah, past life rejection fears and wounds have basically bled through into this lifetime. So on a subconscious level, it's creating fears of getting close and getting heartbroken in this lifetime. I've always loved you, it's just misaligned. So again, this is like energetically not being able to come into that union with each other until you come into union within, because again, you're that reflection of self. This lifetime is only one mission in many. We are a team and will reconnect on our homeland. So again, many different lifetimes together, many different missions, or many different agreements that you've had in these different lifetimes to learn different things, to trigger each other in different ways. You are reconnecting in the 5D though. You may have a very strong telepathic bond. Okay, so although we're from the same soul family, we're in totally different grades in our life lessons. So this is indicating that for some of you, one of you may be more advanced than the other person when it comes to soul lessons or awakening in certain ways. One twin may need to be more asleep in order to trigger the other twin flame, and then that may be to make the trigger twin flame walk away, and then that sense of abandonment forces the other to awaken. So let's look at the I love you to the moon and back cards. Do you still love me? So yeah, there is a fear within this person that you've fallen out of love with them. You may be wondering the same thing. I feel like this one wants to come out. I lied to you because I was scared of losing you, but had karma to settle elsewhere, okay? So someone wasn't being fully honest because basically it wasn't the right time for your union. There was still more to heal and more to learn along the way. This could represent someone else was in a karmic relationship, or they chose someone else over you, but it doesn't necessarily have to mean a karmic relationship. They may have just not been ready, but they may have tried to make out that they were more ready because they thought that if you realized that there was still a long time for you to wait, then maybe you'd stop waiting and you'd abandon them. So they may have lied with false promises. I was so scared you would reject the real me and leave me, so I put on a mask and felt I could never take it off again. So yeah, I feel like there was deception in terms of wearing masks. Again though, if you're twin flames, I feel it would have been on both sides. You may have felt like you were being totally upfront and honest and expressing your emotions, but were you trying to mold yourself subconsciously in any way to try and be what you thought they wanted you to be? Or were you trying to jump through 1,000,001 hoops, trying to convince this person, trying to prove yourself? Because that is a form of wearing a mask. It's like when we don't believe in our own worth, we try to be more and do more, and we ignore our own needs. My ego got too caught up in you chasing me. So this is very interesting. Subconsciously, this person didn't want to come forward because you were validating them so much when you were chasing them, and it made them feel secure because they could clearly see that you wanted them. They were afraid that you were kind of in love or addicted to the thrill of the chase. And once that you'd got them kind of thing, you'd get bored of them. The relationship happened so much more easily with the other woman. It wasn't so complicated. Okay, so I feel like for some of you, someone may have lied and they made out like they were single and they were with someone else, or they got with someone else in the middle of your connection and didn't tell you. And the relationship just happens easily with the other person, and it could be because they had karma to settle elsewhere. They had life lessons they needed to go through with that person. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a karmic relationship in terms of that negative connotation that's been created. I can't be a substitute parent. I can't heal your inner child wounds. Don't make me responsible for that. It's not fair. Okay, so I feel this is on both sides. You both have those inner child wounds, the illusions, everything that's being processed and released for more awakening to occur. You've come into each other's lives, obviously, to really, really assist with that awakening. But I feel like there was codependency at some point, at least in the past, between you both, where you were both looking to each other to heal the wounds within yourself, where you needed to heal them within yourselves as individuals. Do you love me, or are you just seeking my approval because of some childhood wound? So yeah, there was an element of looking outside of self for love, validation and approval, whereas there needed to be that self-love, that wholeness within. Tower moment likely happened to force you to do that self-healing, rather than continuing to hold on to each other codependently and avoiding that healing work within. Do I have what it takes? Okay, I'm feeling pulled to pour all of these out and then kind of see the story, overall story. I screwed up. I'm here for you. I express myself differently to you. This is the real me. Okay. Yeah, I screwed up. So you may have felt like this person wasn't fully here for you because they were wearing some kind of mask. They may have felt the same about you. Even if you really, really genuinely felt like you were being totally authentic and upfront, there may have been a subconscious part of you that was hiding still. Do I have what it takes? So this person struggled to feel like they were good enough. They had self-esteem issues. They worried that they weren't strong enough or courageous enough or good enough to really take that action towards this connection and sustain that harmony and balance within themselves. They may have been very insecure, and so they were worried that they would feel like they were on a emotional roller coaster, and they were afraid of screwing up, and so they may not have taken action, and then they feel like they screwed up because they didn't take action, because then they feel like they weren't there for you. So now we have I am here for you. There could have been issues to do with expression of emotions, because we have I express myself differently to you. This is the real me. So someone's coming forward, or both of you are coming forward. You're coming into this time of communicating much more openly, much more honestly. You may have needed that Tower moment to have that distance to kind of see things, see yourselves more clearly, and how your own actions may have been contributing to the struggles. And now that you've healed and released some of those, or a lot of those, it's like more harmony is returning to this connection overall. So let's pull some messages out of the bag next. You're incredible. So they feel you are absolutely amazing. They may have put you on a pedestal. That may have been half of the problem with them not feeling good enough. You have a strong astral connection. You're connecting very deeply with each other in the 5D. And that is helping you both to come back to your true selves, because the higher dimensions are much more of who you really are. There's regret about the past. Regret. This person regrets past actions. Regrets past decisions, perhaps. Trust issues. This person may have not been able to trust that this connection was real if it didn't make logical sense to them at the start. But now they're awakening a lot more. They are coming into much more trust and realization. It's a karmic contract. So to me, that is saying that this is going to resonate a lot with those who have experienced the person getting with someone else and not telling you about it. Okay, so let's look at the divination dice next. The boat, the horse, the god of thunder. Please let me know in the comments who the god of thunder is. Again, it's gone out of my head. Skull and crossbones. Hermes, the messenger. Interesting. So, yeah, there's definitely positive movement forward in your connection. This little boat here always reminds me of the Six of Swords card. It's moving out of adversity into a brighter future, into harmony, basically healing your connection. We have the horse. This reminds me of the knights. Also, I see horses as being on the path of your highest good. But the knight is someone rushing in. Someone rushing in to communicate. You're going to be receiving a message, or you're both going to come back into communication with each other after a tower moment. This is the lightning bolt that strikes that tower, breaking down the ego, the walls, the fears. And look, this is like the death card, which means transformation, ending of the old and going through like a painful transition, but it's so that you can become more of your true selves and more in union with yourself, so you can have union with each other. Okay, so let's see what charms are going to come out for you today. Wow, we have number 1 on the dice, union. You may be seeing number patterns. This is January. I feel there's a lot of union happening, a lot of communication, a lot of positive shifts, a lot of new beginnings. Also 2021. Okay, so yeah, some of you may well be twin flames. The swan is a symbol of twin flames. We have the umbrella, but it's kind of put down. So this to me is indicating there was heartbreak in the past, because it always reminds me of the Three of Swords, which is the heartbreak card, which shows the heart being pierced by 3 swords, but also there's clouds and rain. So there was a lot of rain, a lot of stormy energy between you, a lot of heartbreak in the past. But now the umbrella's been put away. So that's saying for the most part, healing has occurred. Someone's definitely been in their shell. Something inside this shell. It's like emotions, feelings. But there's been difficulties. They've clammed up. Again, could be mirrors. You could be one side of the shell and they the other. And the owl is wisdom, awakening, deeper understanding. But if you want to know really in depth how this person truly feels about you and what's going on in your connection right now, please check out my Dear Beloved message readings. They're $11.11. That's US dollars. They're not personal readings, but basically I created a really powerful oracle deck where I channeled messages from the Divine Masculine Collective. I'm currently writing a lot more card descriptions, so there's more options, more cards for me to shuffle, and more messages for clients who book those readings. I have amazing reviews of them, so please check them out. The link is below this video in the description box. They're about 1,000 words in length, and again they're called the Dear Beloved message reading. So please subscribe to my channel as well if you haven't already. I'm aiming for that 200k subscribers mark. And if you do subscribe, please tap the bell icon, turn on all notifications, and that way you'll be notified every time I release a new reading. Thank you so much for joining me here. I really do appreciate it. And now I'll move on to the next set of cards. Welcome to set of cards number 3. You've chosen the cerise pink crystal. So this is going to be a really in-depth look into the current energies within your connection, what's going on with them and how they're feeling. And we're going to look into the tarot cards. We have tons and tons of messages cards today, as well as looking into the divination dice and the charms. So stay tuned because a lot of information is going to come through. Okay, so we have the Lovers in reverse, the Five of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, the Chariot, and the Queen of Swords in reverse. Okay, so I feel like there's some karmic cycles that keep going on in repeat within this connection. I feel as though the Queen of Swords in reverse, you may have got very disheartened, very disillusioned by this person. There may have been an argument. You may have told them exactly what you think because they kept pushing you away. There's the Lovers in reverse. This could be someone who's non-committal, someone who doesn't necessarily has to be a player, but it could just be that they're not committing. They may want like no strings attached kind of thing. They may have fears about moving forward because they just are not loving themselves. So they're pushing you away. This may have been going on in repeat. You may have been this Chariot, because it shows the divine feminine on this card. You may have walked away from this person. You may have moved away from this person. And yeah, there's like disharmony right now. You are wanting positive forward movement, but these sphinxes are like sitting down. It's like there wasn't movement. And I feel like you've had enough. You feel like it was the final straw. Maybe now it's the new year. You've created some New Year's resolutions to not wait around for this person. This person, the reason why they weren't coming forward is because their own heartbreak, fears. Let's pull some messages cards for this energy. All of the messages cards in today's reading are my own creation. And we're going to look into 4 different sets of messages cards, then pulling messages out of the bag, and then looking at the divination dice and the charms. So, what's going on? Okay, so we have this. We have the Lovers again. This is the love of a lifetime. So this is a confirmation, like, even though there's all these struggles within your connection, this connection is very, very significant. You may be soulmates, you may even be twin flames. But there is a pause here. I'm pausing to get a better look at things. This is the Hermit. So the Hermit could be you walked away. You may have left this connection, this person behind in some kind of way. But now it's led them into a place of pause. There's a pause in the connection. So instead of you looking to each other and having running, chasing, or push and pull, perhaps there's this energy of focusing inwards, which is definitely needed. So this is the Hanged Man, actually. I don't know why I said Hermit. I was seeing the Hermit. This is the Hanged Man. So yeah, a pause. But the Hanged Man hangs himself upside down by the ankle on purpose in order to see everything from a different perspective. So this person, they may feel as though their world has been turned upside down. If you have walked away from them, you've got off that karmic wheel. You are like, nah, I'm done with this. I'm moving forward without you, whether you're coming or not. And this person is realizing, you know, maybe they had decisions to make between you and someone else, or choosing between love and fear, because that was in reverse, and now they're realizing this is a love of a lifetime. And they may be pausing right now to try and figure things out. How can they make amends with you? How can they heal themselves so they're ready to move forward with you? How can they get off the karmic wheel they're stuck on? I want you to be so proud of me. So they feel like they've let you down. They feel like they've disappointed you. And now they want to, it's like they're figuring out how to cooperate with you, how to do things right, how to be there for you, how to do all the things that you desired from them. But we have the Five of Wands. And this is, I will stay in control of this situation. So there's still power struggles. Could be between you both, because this Five of Wands shows different people. They want things to happen the way they want things to happen. And the Chariot has the divine masculine and feminine energy. There needs to be a balance. There needs to be equality in this connection in order for it to move forward. So this could be a case with the Queen of Swords in reverse, that some of the divine feminines may have unhealthy or unrealistic expectations, maybe subconsciously looking to the divine masculine to heal your inner child wounds, to love you in the ways that you felt you were unloved by others, love you in the ways that you struggle to love yourself. Maybe this could be unrealistic expectations. I know some people aren't going to like me being this honest, but others of you I feel it will help you. And so there was an imbalance here. Perhaps as the divine feminine, we can often believe that we're more awakened and more aware, and we know what's best. The masculine should do what we think they should do, and then we set out on this mission to make that happen, and then when it doesn't happen, we see it as the masculine is resisting, whereas in truth our soul family, our higher selves, the divine knows what is for our highest good, and how this should unfold. And so yeah, could be control issues on both sides. I'm totally heartbroken and harmony is coming back. Okay, so yeah, I feel like a heartbreak had to happen, a separation had to happen, so that you could both focus on loving yourselves and doing that inner healing work, rather than codependently kind of looking to each other to fill in each other's voids or something. Harmony is coming back. So harmony within equals harmony within the relationship with each other. Okay, so let's look at our eternal love message cards next. Okay. You've got to keep living your life. I'd hate to think you missed out because you were waiting for me. So I do feel like some of you have moved on. Someone may have been pushing you away because they were like, I'm not ready. I don't want to hurt you by you waiting around for me. I don't want to hurt you by you having these expectations of me that I can't live up to. So they were being kind of cruel to be kind. They were holding back because they didn't want to hurt you. But them holding back was making you feel like it was personal. But this is really saying that this person truly loves you enough to really think about what you need. They want you to be happy. I know we've shared many past lives together. So yeah, there may have been like an instant recognition for some of you when you first met. There's too many obstacles right now. So yeah, there's still karma here. There's the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Some cycles that have been going on in repeat. That this separation is going to help you both understand and heal. But it's like not the right time for a union. I can't sleep at night because I'm worried about our connection. How do we make it work? So I do feel like you're both worrying, or this person is worrying, especially now. This is almost like the Nine of Swords. Sleepless nights, obsessively thinking about this, maybe thinking how can they put things right, how can they make amends, how can they truly prove themselves and take that action. And I'm afraid that you're making fun of me to your friends. So they feel like they've really disappointed you, and they're worried that you've complained about them to your friends, and then your friends are like saying they're a douchebag or whatever. Let's look at the I love you to the moon and back cards. I'm just not at the maturity level to give you what you need. It doesn't mean I don't love you. So the problem here within this connection has been that you both love each other, and you've sensed this person truly does love you. So you may have been thinking, well, why aren't they taking action? Why aren't they healing themselves? Why aren't they doing everything in their power to make it work? And I feel like they are. It's just they have a lot to heal. They have a lot to learn. They have a lot of soul maturity to reach. So it takes time. I keep my distance so you stay holding on to me. this person, they feel like if you get too close, you'll be bored with them, or you'll realize that they aren't good enough. And that's a reflection of how they see themselves. They're worried that they won't be able to fulfill your expectations. So be mindful. Do you have realistic expectations, or are some of them unrealistic? Please love yourself first. The magnetic pull lessens when you don't. So again, there needs to be self-love on both sides for there to be that alignment, because if you are twin flames, then you are reflections of each other. You're the same soul. You're one. So if one isn't loving themselves as an individual human being, then the other can't love them, can't get close to them, and vice versa. Can't align energetically. If you are not in a vibration of self-love, I cannot get close to you. So yeah, that's basically what I was saying. The law of attraction. If we subconsciously don't feel worthy, we cannot attract the union that we desire. Yeah, there's been a lot of triggering within your connection. We met in order to hurt each other into awakening. I'm sorry that it's such a harsh form of love. I wanted romantic bliss too. So yeah, you both wanted that romantic bliss, but this connection is more about soul growth. That is why you agreed to come into this earth, into this lifetime in separate bodies. So you could meet up, be a mirror, show each other your own shit kind of thing that needs healing and dealing with, working through. So it was designed this way, for the triggering, the hurt to happen, so you'd stop having codependency on like the physical aspect of the other person and focus on that self-love. And when you love yourself, they're the same, so they love themselves, and you can have that union. But you know, the main purpose of this connection is the awakening, the soul growth. So let's look at the messages from the Divine Masculine cards. This or that. So there was a decision to make. Love or fear. This person or the other person. Yeah, running or facing that fear. You may be confused if you've walked away. You may be wondering, should I stay? Should I go? Should I keep hoping? Or should I try and completely move on? But things will change very soon. I follow my gut. So intuition has awoken within this person. They're taking action, is how I'm seeing that. Things will change. They're following their gut. They're following that calling to come forward more in your connection. Yeah, I'm letting go of the past. So they're letting go of what was holding them back in the past. You're letting go of the struggles or the pain from the past. What will they think? Okay, so someone has been afraid. At the bottom of the deck we have, how do I move forward as well. So someone has been afraid of what someone else is going to think, or what other people are going to think. Maybe someone's in a marriage. They're worried about what all the family's going to think if they end that marriage to try and be with you. Or they're worried about what you think. It could be someone that's just excessively like scared that people are seeing them in a bad light. So they're wearing some kind of mask. As I said, some kind of mask. I was just readjusting this card here that was falling off. Yeah, this is how the Divine Feminine is feeling. You're kind of feeling like burnt out in this connection. You're trying so hard, and now you're like, oh, I have no energy to put into this connection at this time. But that may well be what was needed in order to wake this other person up. Your absence. This person has a lot of regret about actions in the past, or a lack of action. They feel lost without you. They want you back. Yeah, definitely they were hiding their feelings. Could be mirrored because the mask here, and she's got face paint on, which kind of looks like a mask. Maybe mirrored between you both, a fear of being vulnerable, basically, and it just going around in circles, and you feeling like you can't stagnate any longer. The person's longing for you. You were longing for them to transform, and maybe it just became too tiring, too painful to long for that perfect union and that change. You have a very strong astral connection. This has come out in all 3 sets of cards in today's reading. So the astral bond between twin flames is very, very strong at this time. So let's look at the divination dice. Yeah. To me, this is that gateway into the other dimensions, the higher dimensional aspect of your connection. That's where your true selves are, the unmanifest. Very much connecting, very much in union in that 5D. So this is communication, the Ace of Swords, communication, clarity, victory, intuition, seeing clearly, communicating clearly, cutting the ties, letting go of the past, cutting the ties to things that aren't serving. Yeah, there was a tower moment between you both. This is the lightning. This is like God with the lightning. The universe had to step in and break down the unhealthy dynamics, the codependencies, in order to force you to go through facing your biggest fears. I feel like your biggest fears came true, but it was to force you through that wounding, to heal it. Yeah, there's like fear. Overcoming that fear, and you're just like, you make each other feel nourished, warm, cozy inside. I feel like you're just connecting astrally and feeling that love, feeling that oneness, feeling that healing. It's like the connection's revving up again. The connection is you're both much more focused on the connection again, feeling it a lot more energetically. Okay, so we have Man Cave. So yeah, it's definitely a time of pause, going inwards. This is like that Hermit card. And the Hanged Man. Going inwards, trying to figure things out, trying to see through the shadow aspects, the illusions. Spider's web. So it could be a web of lies, could be someone or both of you pretending to be something that you're not in order to try and capture the other person and get them to be kind of stuck or codependent because of in extreme fear of losing them. Could be financial issues, abundance coming in, someone focusing a lot on career or having difficulties financially. There is a lot of romantic feelings here. You both want this commitment. You both want that passionate relationship with each other. Whenever I see this key, it's like I see you, the divine feminine, with a one, winding this key up, and it's like you're putting in all the work and then you stop putting in the work, so it's come to a standstill now. It's stopped, and then that's made the divine masculine suddenly think, what's going on? Like everything's kind of stopped, and you're kind of like, if they want something to progress with you now, they've got to put in the work to keep things going. they need to give back to you equally. They need to meet you halfway at least, kind of thing. So if you really want to know in depth how this person truly feels about you, please check out my Dear Beloved message readings. They're $11.11, and that's US dollars. They're not personal readings, but basically I created a really powerful oracle deck where I channeled messages from the Divine Masculine Collective. I'm currently in the process of creating more of those cards, more of those card meanings, in order to shuffle and share with clients who book those readings. So basically, when you do book a reading, I email you the very in-depth description of the card, which is about 1,000 words in length in general. I have some really amazing reviews of the readings. Please check your junk mail, because a few people it's gone into junk, or they've not received it, and they think I haven't sent it, but I have. So yeah, please check those out. They're the Dear Beloved message readings. The link is below this video in the description box, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm aiming for that 200k subscribers mark, which I'm almost at. And if you do subscribe, please tap the bell icon, turn on all notifications, and that way you'll be notified every time I release a new reading. Thank you so much for joining me here. I really do appreciate it. Take care. Bye.